Remember geometry class? Yeah, it's probably been a while. But what if I told you that the basic rules of 3D shapes are literally all around you, building everything from ancient pyramids to the phone in your hand? Let's do a super quick refresher you didn't even know you needed.
Okay, let's start with a little riddle. You've got a massive ancient pyramid, and you've got a plain old cardboard box. What in the world could they possibly have in common? I mean, on the surface, they couldn't be more different, right?
Well, it turns out they have a lot more in common than you'd think. They're actually built from the exact same geometric toolkit. So let's break down the rules that connect them. I promise, by the end of this, you're going to start seeing these shapes absolutely everywhere.
All right, first up, shapes in plain sight. Before we can really dive in, we need to make sure we're all speaking the same language. So let's get on the same page with a few basic terms.
So what exactly makes a shape 3D? It's really simple. It's any solid object that has length, width, and height. You know, something that takes up actual space. If you can pick it up and hold it in your hands, boom, it's a 3D shape.
Okay, next section, the anatomy of a shape. Think about it. To really understand something, you need to know its different parts. Well, 3D shapes are no different. Every single one has a basic anatomy. And lucky for us, the vocabulary is surprisingly simple. First up, we've got the face. A face is just any individual surface on an object. It can be flat, it can be curved. Think of it as the shape's skin.
Yeah, exactly like this. A face is any surface you can actually see and touch. So if you look at a cube, each of its flat, square sides is one face.
Now, what happens where any two of those faces meet? Well, that's where you get an edge. It's the line that forms where they join up, kind of like the crease on a box or the spine of a book.
And finally, where all the edges meet, you get vertices. Now that's just a fancy word for corners. One corner is called a vertex. And that's it. Seriously, faces, edges, and vertices. That's our entire toolkit.
Section 3. Let's start counting. Okay, now that we know the lingo, let's actually put it to use and take a look at a few common shapes.
Let's start with an absolute classic, the square-based pyramid. It's a shape everybody recognizes instantly. But now, we're going to look at it with our new geometry eyes. So, here's your first little challenge. Look closely at the pyramid. Using our new definition of a face, any flat surface, how many do you count? Did you get 5? That's it. This is a perfect example. You've got the 4 triangular faces that make up the sides, and you can't forget the one square face on the bottom. So, that gives us a total of 5 faces. See? Easy.
Next up, let's look at two shapes that are practically cousins, the cube and the cuboid. A cube is that perfect box shape, like a die, and a cuboid is more of a stretched-out box, like a brick or a shoebox.
They look pretty similar, right? So here's another quick challenge for you. How many flat faces does each one have? Take a second and count them up.
Yep, it's 6. Both the cube and the cuboid have 6 flat faces. The only real difference is that a cube's faces are all perfect squares, while a cuboid's are rectangles. But the total count is exactly the same.
Okay, section 4. It's time for a pop quiz. You've learned the vocabulary, so let's test your new knowledge with a couple of quick riddles.
So, how you feeling? Feeling like a confident camel? Huh? Ready to test your knowledge? Let's find out. Here is your first riddle. I have 6 faces. Each face is a perfect square. What shape am I? Think about it. 6 faces, and every single one is a perfect square.
Of course, it's a cube. Those 2 clues, 6 faces, all of them square. That's the unique signature of a perfect cube.
All right, last one, and this one's a little trickier. I have 5 faces. One is a square, and the other 4 are triangles. What shape am I?
You got it. It's the pyramid. That single square base and the 4 triangular sides that meet at a point, that's the dead giveaway.
All right, our final section, from flat to form. Here, we're going to look at the secret origin story of all these shapes. It's a really fascinating idea that connects the 3D world back to some simple, flat patterns. So, check this out. Every 3D shape actually starts its life as a completely flat 2D pattern called a net. The best way to picture this is to imagine unfolding a cardboard box until it lays totally flat. That's its net. Then, when you fold that pattern back up along the lines, which we now know are the edges, boom, a 3D shape is born. And that's really the key takeaway here. Once you understand the basic anatomy of shapes and see how they're all built from these simple, flat patterns, you start to see the world a little differently. So, I'll leave you with this question. Take a look around you right now. What geometric shapes have been hiding in plain sight this whole time?